Hi everyone, welcome back to DeFi Daily. Today we'll talk about Hector Dao and ROME DAO. The reason why I chose to talk about these two protocols is because both of them are introducing different and major updates. As you can see, or maybe as you have already had the opportunity to check on Hector Dao, they have introduced different kind of tools. We will see them together, and mostly I will show you how you can earn from Hector Dao around 40-44% on stablecoins, and that's a real APY, and I will explain to you exactly how does it work. So stay tuned. Just before to start, guys, remember that if you want to stay always updated, a good idea is just to subscribe, and if you like what I'm doing, if you want to sustain me, please leave me a big thumbs up and drop a comment. Just remember that the goal of this channel is just giving you tools in order to help you better understand what is going on into DeFi. Nothing has to be intended as a financial advice. Let's start immediately. I don't know if you are a fan of Hector Dao. And personally, I've never been one of them, even if I have always followed this project quite closely. And what is quite impressive by them is that they are working continuously trying to add new different tools. And the reason why I chose to talk about it, even if I'm not a fan of the protocol, not because I have something against them, nothing about that. It's just about I never had the opportunity to use it extensively, and personally, my personal strategy, my portfolio, I don't need this kind of investment. But even if I think so about this protocol, it is undeniable that they are doing it. They are trying literally to evolve from the point they have started. Because as I told you many times, the whole idea behind DAOs is not just bonding and staking. If a protocol is just offering you bonding and staking feature with some insane APY, we know sooner or later it will die. That's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. The only way to survive into this market is literally, okay, we have used this game theory just to increase the treasury. But after that, we need to evolve. We need to build something in order to create value for the community. And they are trying to do it. This is pretty an interesting case study, because as you can see from here, the treasury of Hector Dao is around 100 million. And what is interesting also is this thing here that you can find under the bonding feature, and staked on CRV there are 20 millions. I'm showing you this information just because to remind guys, remember the whole curve wars, the whole battle for liquidity. This is a crucial point of the whole DeFi ecosystem. And I highly recommend you guys have a look to this playlist. You will find the link in the right corner here, because there you can find all the info about how the liquidity is working and why it has a really crucial role into this game. And yes, in that playlist you will find also the major players and all the different possible gems, because that's the reality. If a protocol is working on something that is literally so important for the ecosystem, that's quite possible that in the next future it can grow a lot. In any case, just giving you tools, remember, not financial advice. So they are investing on CRV because obviously, as we talked many times, curve is pretty much important. But what is interesting by Hector Dao is that they have introduced several new tools. The first one that I want to show you is about this one. This is the lending platform that they are building with Ola Finance. As you can see down here on the footer, there is the logo of Ola Finance, because this protocol has been built in collaboration with them. As you can see, we are still talking about a protocol, so a bank, a lending platform that is just still small. It is around 6 million of supply, and with a borrowing balance that is just below 1 million. Under markets, you can find the different assets that are supported. As you can see, WETH, Frax, DAI, and so on. The APY is something decent, nothing exceptional, but in any case, it is interesting to see that Hector is trying to literally build an ecosystem. The whole idea about Hector is literally building an ecosystem to empower DeFi. As you can see, there is another thing that is pretty much interesting, and I'm talking about the Farm and Tor Mint. What is the farming feature and what is Tor Mint? You should know that Tor is a new stablecoin. This stablecoin is backed by the Hector token, because in order to mint a new Tor token that is just a stablecoin, so it is pegged to $1, you need to borrow some Hector token. It is not so much different from what we have seen on Terra with the mechanism between Luna and UST. Here it is pretty much the same, but in this case they are working on Phantom. And in order to mint this Tor token, you should borrow some Hector. In any case, in this feature here, as you can see, it is written that you can mint some Tor using DAI or USDC. Remember that even if you are using your stablecoin, so DAI and USDC, it doesn't mean that you are minting them with them, because simply the mechanism, the backend of the protocol will take your stablecoins in order to buy some Hector and burn them. And vice versa, in the moment when you decide to convert your Tor, so to redeem your Tor for another stablecoin, I will just show you hiding myself for a moment. You can use this feature here, this is called redeem. Just decide the amount of Tor that you want to convert into the stablecoin, and in that moment the system will use the treasury in order to mint a new Hector token, and it will sell it into the pool in order to give you the DAI or USDC that you are requiring. So as you can see, the dynamic behind Tor is related to the Hector DAO, and this will increase the demand for Hector if there is a lot of demand for Tor, or it will create selling pressure if many people will decide to leave Tor and to convert it on USDC. There is another thing that is pretty much important and powerful about this stablecoin, and it is the farming feature. Right now, this farming feature is paying you 43% of APR, so not compounded interest, so pretty much a high APR. And how does it work? It is like an LP that you can recover from Hector Finance. So you have to go to Hector Finance, deposit, and this is the interface, deposit the asset that you are interested in, add the liquidity. You will receive in exchange an LP token that you can deposit into this feature here in order to start earning that kind of APR. If you're wondering where is coming that APR, it is coming from all the fees that are generated by the protocol plus the inflation. So it means the minting of new Hector tokens. Let's recap for a moment where the yield and the fees are coming for Hector Dao, because the ecosystem has grown a lot and we need to recap them. First of all, they are using the bonding feature, so they are earning from it. They have the lending protocol, as we were seeing just before. They are having the new stablecoin, that is the Tor stablecoin. Plus, they have introduced also another thing, as you can see here from the documentation, stake your FTM with our validator nodes. They have created 2 validator nodes, one in Canada, another one in France, and you can stake your FTM in order to receive rewards. Actually, the rewards should be something like 14% if you are using the validator node from Hector Finance. I just forgot to tell you that in the moment when you are staking your Tor, the APR is paid in WFTM. So that 43% of APR on Tor, on stablecoins, so on the LP tokens that is composed by assets, stable assets on a curve, is paying you WFTM. And if you're wondering if there is any other kind of revenue flow for Hector, the answer is yes, because they are also investing the treasury that is also producing some kind of yield. For example, as I was showing you before, they are using Hector Finance. In the next future, it is coming also an exchange and also a way to invest and a new kind of launchpad, a new kind of feature. I find that it's pretty interesting to see how just a DAO that has born just like bonding and staking is trying to evolve, building an ecosystem. And it's something that I like. I want to just remember to you that that's pretty clear that actually the price of HEC is pretty cheap if the project will succeed. On the other side, always remember that even if the project is doing good because they are developing, they are deploying different kind of features and everything is going quite smoothly. But on the other side, we have still to remember that any project that is so young, that is so early stage, has an intrinsic risk to fail that is pretty much high. As you can see, for example, from this research, they are saying that almost 90% of the startups will fail. And it's not so different from startups into the traditional finance, into the traditional world, against compare them to the DeFi space. Also, the intrinsic risk of any kind of new protocol is high. And that's something not because they are doing bad, but simply because this is the market. I'm saying it because I would like to be sure that you are aware that even if a project is doing great, it doesn't mean that it will succeed. We know that DeFi with any probability will succeed, but we still don't know which kind of protocols, which kind of players will be able to succeed and to take the biggest part of this industry. We just know that there are many protocols that are doing quite good and that they are trying to grow. Which one will win is something that we will discover only in the future. I want to go now for a moment to talk about ROME, and the reason is because they have just released the other day, the previous week, a new thread and also the new wiki house of ROME. As you can see from the documentation, this is the new wiki. You can find here all the different releases and all the different news about how the ROME protocol will evolve. And the idea is still, at least in my opinion, something that I really like. I love the idea of having a game that is merging the NFTs, the 3D game, and the possibility to have different DeFi features. This is something that to me is great, but it applies always the same concept I was telling just a moment before. The reality is that I love the concept, I really hope to see this protocol to succeed, but on the other side, we still have to know that we are still in early stage. I appreciate that in this moment they are quite silent after a phase that there was so much hype around this protocol. The reality is that a protocol, in order to be able to deliver for real, because that's at the end of the story what we care, a protocol should deliver what they are promising. If they are not able to deliver what they are promising, we are just talking about dreams and we are just chatting for the simple pleasure to chat about it, but without any kind of real implication and real gain for us. And yes, at this point, what is really important for them is being able to release. I still would like to see a date, so a moment when we will see in action, because yes, for example, here they are saying that the new warm-up, game, profiles, homepage, in-game, AMM, so the possibility to swap exchanges, different kind of tokens, new staking and bonding feature, and also the Bank of Rome is coming. As you can see from here, the Bank of Rome, it will be a 4 key areas, as you can see from here: the balance sheet, the decentralized exchange, the liquidity, in order, for example, to empower all the different games and projects on Moon River, and also a lending protocol. Another thing that you should know is that in the next future, we still don't know when, but also the tokenomics of ROME will change. As I said to you many times, bonding with this kind of inflation and insane APY. And another thing that I love by them is that they have changed this kind of definition. They are not talking anymore about rebase, they are not talking about APY, but they are saying staking inflation rate, because that's the reality, guys. All of these protocols are offering this kind of APY through inflation. They are just giving you new tokens that are creating selling pressure. And this is something that all of us should be aware, because as I said to you many times, I like the idea of experimenting new stuff and pushing in new directions, but we should be aware of what is the reality of this kind of system. And the reality is that they are using inflation. And in the next future, they will reduce this kind of inflation in order to give you yield just using the revenues that are coming from the protocols. Revenues that are coming from, for example, the marketplace that is in-game, and that will be a facility where you will have the opportunity to buy different NFTs, empower your characters, and so on. On the other side, fees that are coming from the Bank of Rome and all the different services that Rome will offer. Also, in this case, we are still talking about a young project. As you can see, we are seeing different new mockups, interfaces, and yes, I'm hoping to see a release date soon in order to start using this protocol, because the concept is something that, at least in my opinion, is still really powerful. Guys, these are the updates about Hector Dao and ROME DAO. I hope that this video helped you to better understand what's going on into this industry and about DAOs. Let me know if you have any kind of question into the comment section below. And remember, if you want to stay always updated, the good idea is to subscribe. And if you want to also sustain me, leave a big thumbs up and drop a comment. I will see you tomorrow with another video. Bye, guys.